Okay, so last week ratings were down, even though it was overall a decent show. I felt very Attitude Era. So this week they decided to throw every possible thing they could at Raw. So I'm going to begin with opening, Sting, good promo, nice flow to it. Felt odd that he was really put over Triple H. But then towards the end, when they did a Seth Rollins bit, he talked about Triple H a lot, kind of helping to potentially sow the seeds for the Authority breaking down and potentially a Triple H Seth Rollins match later on down the line, which could be very interesting. Could be the match for the control of the pedigree finisher. So then, at the end of the night, so I'm just doing the bookends real quick. Rollins came out and he was like, "Sting, where is my statue?" Cena came down and he was like, blah 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 blah. Oh, you have 2 titles. Every belt is on the line. I have a rematch clause for your U.S. Championship. I want my match. Steph, can I have my match? Yes. Ends with John Cena giving the 3D, and then Sting coming down. You know, woo! So Seth Rollins will pull double duty. There were rumors this was going to happen, but on the bright side, it makes sense. Because that way then what can happen is Seth Rollins can beat John Cena in a hellacious match, and then lose to Sting. Or he can beat them both. He can lose to them both. There's a whole bunch of scenarios that actually work out pretty well from a progressive standpoint of storytelling. Dudley's took on the New Day. Nice tag team match. Dudley's got the victory. They were going to end by putting Big E through a table. Didn't happen. Xavier Woods had his hair down, and it was straight. And he looked awesome. He looked like someone you just wanted to punch in the face till your hand was bloody and raw. That's good healing. That's great healing. Braun Strowman fought Dean Ambrose. By fought, I mean he just mauled him in the ring and outside the ring. Then Roman Reigns got involved, and he mauled Roman Reigns. Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt still on the outside. It was Braun just manhandled the 2 of them. Good job. He cut a bit of a promo, and he was very growly, but for his first promo, I can give him a pass. He didn't spend a lot of time in the indies, so a less than fully developed character and not quite knowing how to deliver on a live mic, I can let that pass for the most part. Dolph Ziggler had another match with Rusev, which ended cleanly. No, it didn't end cleanly. After a false double countout, Rusev looked like he might have been getting pretty close to winning. Ziggler got himself out, hit the zigzag. Summer Rae came in and attacked, which had Lana come in. The 2 of them rolled around to a cat fight, much to the delight of the crowd. Looked like Lana had a bit of the hungry bum towards the end of it. And then it got weird. While interviewing Ryback about his match with the Big Show, yes, Ryback took on Big Show, you heard a weird scream and a run away. And it looked like Summer Rae was running out of Ziggler's dressing room. But Ziggles was wetting his head on a towel. And you can tell he tans in trunks. They then did an awkward moment where he was telling Lana that, you know, she said she wanted to talk. And I was like, whatever. And I came out of the shower, and there she was. And Lana was like, so she saw you naked. And he was like, for a couple of seconds before I grabbed the towel, because, you know, most people don't walk out of the shower with a towel on. Defeats the purpose, because the shower is wet and the towel is there for drying. They talked to Lana about it. Lana's like, I don't know what to think. And Summer Rae was like, oh, and he kissed me, and it was passionate. And, oh, naked Dolph Ziggler was just amazing. And Lana, like, stormed off, so maybe no mixed tag match, maybe maybe someone punches the wall of reality and this whole thing gets retconned. I don't know. Maybe the fans never voted for Jason Todd Robin to die. This needs to end. Either they do the mixed tag match, but 2 matches, 2 screwjob finishes. You've gotten to the point where this match is going to need an additional catalyst. That catalyst is Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas can make this work. 2 guys who are great in the ring. You need Bo for additional heat. Just put a live mic on him. Have him do like a therapy session on the outside with Lana and Summer the whole time. It has to. You have to do something with it. It's just going nowhere fast. Stupid fast. Ryback took on the Big Show in a match that was surprisingly good, with Miz on commentary. Miz does a great job on commentary. If Miz ever decides to hang up the boots, I would love him to be on commentary. He actually seems to want to talk about the wrestlers and get the wrestlers over, which is awesome. These 2 guys pulled all the stops. This was actually one of Big Show's best matches that didn't involve Roman Reigns at a pay-per-view. The finish saw The Miz kind of get involved, which then allowed Ryback to hit the shell shock. Overall, this was a surprisingly good match. I think for these 2 guys, they actually have a really solid match. Continuing your rematches from SummerSlam. Owens Cesaro. Great match. Owens was able to do some work to the midsection of the pop-up powerbomb. Great match. These 2 guys have fantastic chemistry. If only they had a strap to have one of them just hold up in the air. Maybe it's gold with an American flag to make it ironic. Because neither one of them are from the United States. Or maybe it's got a white strap and it's an intercontinental belt. Or maybe they make their own title and it's the non-US title. And it'll be for places that are like Europe, Canada, Mexico, South America, Australia, Asia, Africa. It could be like the non-US title. It should be great. But solid match work like you would expect. Now the Beat the Clock challenge. Yes, Team PCB, since they won the match at SummerSlam, they then decided that, that often comment of to the victor goes the spoils. They did a Beat the Clock challenge. Of course, Beat the Clock is shortest match becomes the champ, becomes the person to feud with Nikki Bella. In 14 days no. Yes, in 2 weeks, Nikki becomes the longest reigning Divas champ. No. The winner became the #1 contender for Night of Champions. 20 days from now. So, Byron made the comment of, who will they prevent Nikki from making history if in 14 days I become a record holder and I face someone in 20 days? It doesn't matter. Doesn't. She becomes the longest champion by default. So what were your matches? First one, the Spitfire, the last kicker, Becky Lynch takes on Alicia Fox. Good match. Tap out at 3:21. Alright, way to go, Becky. Set the bar pretty well. So a match that went under 4 minutes? It's like SmackDown a couple years ago. Not a problem. Charlotte takes on Brie. Brie spends her whole time being like, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. And then awkwardly takes the short neck breaker and natural selection. Or bow to the queen, depending on when you saw Charlotte hit it. Her kind of like rolling forward diamond cutter. And she beats her in 140. Yes, in 100 seconds, Charlotte beat Brie. Totally cool with it. So now it's time for the P in the PCB. Who's she taking on? She's taking on the main B, the boss, Sasha Banks. Ironically, our Florida crowd should have been super hot for Sasha. That's where we most know her from is NXT. So it's Sasha and Paige. I think the crowd was more kind of like, we get to see her for not even 2 minutes. Yeah, once 100 seconds is done, this fight's finished. Paige hits the Rampage, but cannot beat Sasha. So, 3 women's matches. For about 6 minutes, 41 seconds. So it's about the same amount of time. And a lot of times they had Nikki talk, and she was talking about stuff, and I skipped through it because I don't care. You know, she hasn't defended her title since the Revolution happened. And wins and losses don't matter, even though the win at SummerSlam mattered because the winning team got to have a series of matches for them for contendership, but it doesn't matter. And I guess it doesn't. If in 14 days she becomes the longest reigning champion, it doesn't matter if you fight her in 20 days. She's the longest reigning champion. And it's going to be Charlotte, the heir apparent. It'd be great if instead Sasha actually challenged her the week before. Because that's your historic match. Your historic match isn't the one 20 days from now. It's the one 14 days from now. It's the one where, you know, if I beat you in the next, 5 minutes, you do not become the longest reigning Divas champion. You just become the second longest. And even if Nikki were to surpass AJ, AJ is still the second longest. I mean, it's one of those things where there's a really huge number. It's like, whoa, person going to surpass CM Punk. Okay, CM Punk's still number 2. Unless you're going to have the Divas belt be held almost a year by 9 other people. So we're looking at maybe 7-8 years with only 9 champions. At least these matches had a purpose. They were very short, and the best match that we could have been given, which of course was Sasha Paige, would have been a great first match or a second match. Instead, they got the shaft with only 100 seconds. On the bright side, they did some of the Divas division. That's an actual clear storyline. Hopefully, in 20 days, after Nikki's the record-holding champion, Charlotte throws her. Hopefully they put in a solid match.